everyone, and welcome to the Michelle Major Show. The Michelle Major Show. I hope everybody's having a fantastic week, and all is going well for you in your world. So much going on. So much going on. This week is really interesting, y'all. It's really interesting. I just wanted to first give a shout out to my therapist, Santia Griffin. Period. I just gotta get because the things that are coming up for me in all of the ways in which I'm handling this divorce, it's just making me be super intentional, right? I understand that, you know, we do things in these familiar circular pattern based ways. We operate based on pattern. And so instead of looking at things just as they are and as they come up with new eyes, we go straight to our history and our Rolodex of all the ways that we dealt with things before. And we just want to get into our autopilot and auto wiring of how we handle things. Well, when you handle things in that way, you're going to get the same results because you handle things in the same way. And so I'm being really thoughtful about doing everything I can this time in a way that's different. And here's why. It's kind of like a seed, right? Like I know all the seeds from when this happens, I look and go, oh, that's how I'm going to handle it. Oh, that's how I usually handle it. I don't even think about it. I don't stop to think of this as a new opportunity to plant a different seed that's going to produce different fruit from the tree on the tree. And so I want to be very thoughtful about this time around. I want to handle things in a way that produces different fruit in my life. Otherwise, I'm just going to do the same pattern over and over again. And one of my autopilots where I go is when it comes to finances and money. So I'm going to start there. Finances and money. When you come from a background of, or like anybody, you figure out a way to handle things and you just do it that way all the time. One of my things around money is that when things start to feel like panicky or scarce, or I can see it kind of dwindling past that threshold of comfort, I activate my usual way of handling things, which is go, frantic, pick up the phone, call, do more. And what that does is it just gets me things that soothe or fix that particular moment, but it does not change my psychology, right? It doesn't change how I think, how I move in a way that prevents me getting in this same loop every time, right? And so as I'm all these attorney's fees and oh my gosh, all of the things that this process has cost me, I'm feeling it now, like beyond feeling it. I'm beyond that threshold of like, oh, okay, well, this is kind of uncomfortable. No. That was months ago. I'm in the double down, your back is against the wall. So you activate all those survival mechanisms. And for people like me, your instinct is to get busier, to do more. And all that does is just perpetuate the loop, right? I need to do something that's different than what I always do to produce the result that I always get. And so my instinct going against everything that I believe, going against everything that is instinctive to me, stop. Oh my God, that's so hard to just stop, slow down, and wait. Do the things you got to do, right? Like I got stuff I have to do, things I have to pay, meetings I have to go to. There's stuff to do. But all of the frantic things that I do, when I get into this experience, I had to stop doing. I'm still struggling with that, y'all. I'm still struggling with this whole just slow down. So going through that divorce was like a battlefield. It was a year of just nonsense and just whack-a-mole, trying to stay ahead of lies and stay ahead of things that he's doing to make things hard and all this other stuff. And then it's over. It's just over. And now I'm like, there's not a active battle. But what has happened is I'm left feeling like, one, I'm exhausted. Two, I got to figure this thing out. I got to figure out money. I got to figure out what I'm going to do next. So then here it comes. Here it comes. Get going, get going, get going. Your back is against the wall. Get going. And so I created now just a new battlefield. I just created a new battlefield, and it's called survival. It's called, you better get your stuff together, girl. You better, better, better. And I just went from one battlefield to another. When you are in a battle for a long time, and that particular battle is done, you got to have time to heal. I have had no time. I literally, divorce was final, boom, money situations. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to have And so part of the way that I roll based on childhood, based on my upbringing, is that I realize this. I actually do better in battlefield situations. I'm the most creative. I can manifest. I can make things happen when my back is against the wall and I have to. This idea of just ease, grace, and flow and manifest and magic and, oh, okay, God, this is what I want. Boom. Thank you. On to the next. Like that, from a place of ease and grace and flow. That's the seed I'm working on right now. I'm not doing no more battlefield seeds where I'm just constantly fighting, constantly trying to make something happen. That's exhausting. That is not the season that I'm in. However, it's still very much in my DNA and in my hardwiring and just in my, what wires together, what fires together, wires together. So when I think of money, I think go, 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 and not like, okay, bring it to me. Even though I've had instances where money just does come to me in ways, or things come to me, or help comes to me in these different ways. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to figure out, what does flow look like? I got a whole orchard of trees that have these chaotic and frantic seeds. So I got frantic fruit. I got frantic fruit. I got, fruit that's not fully developed. They're not fully ripe because I just threw stuff together. I mean, it's just the way that I do it has not served me long term. It serves me from a survival base, but it does not serve me from this ease, grace, and flow kind of space. And that's what I'm working on right now. So now it's about healing. I don't even know how to slow down. I got too much stuff that I'm responsible for. This idea of having all this stuff in front of me that I need to manage and pay and do, and somebody tells me to slow down, to stop. When, where, why, how? I've never done it before, which is why I'm doing it now. I know all the fruit. I know how all the other stuff works. I've done it my whole life. I've never slowed down, given myself time to heal and to rest and not just hop onto the next battlefield, but really care for myself. And we'll see how that goes for me. I've never done it. It does not feel good, and it does not feel comfortable. It don't even feel right to do things like that. But I just got to moving into the flow is what I'm all about when I'm talking to people. But doing it yourself, it's not that easy. The second thing I am working on now is the power of words. I really believe that words are a prayer. Like what you're talking about, what you talk about, you bring about. If you're constantly, that's why they say, you show me your 5 closest friends, I'll show you you. Because what you're constantly talking about, what you're constantly bringing into your mind and into your voice and into your energetic space is what you are actually creating. So that is why I had to be like, let me change some stuff for my business. Let me switch stuff up a bit. One of them being is, for example, this conflict ready intensive that I've been working on. Anybody who's done it will not tell you, oh, we talk about conflict, getting ready for conflict. Anyone who's done it will never tell you, oh, it was intensive. It was intense. But that's what I created. And that's what I called it. I don't want to be in conflict no more. I don't want my business to be in conflict anymore. I don't want people who interact with me to have nothing. I know that people are already in conflict. I don't need to name something for you to connect with it. What I'm about is less about conflict and more about conversations, more about connections, more about introspection and reflection, so that when you walk into a space, you can stand and stare down conflict. You can stare down people's stuff that they're projecting onto you. You can stare it down and not be moved. That's what I'm about. So, how to articulate more about I work with leaders to navigate the human side of leadership. The human side of leadership: honesty, courage, integrity, accountability, grace, reflection, self reflection, right? Power, self power. That or conflict ready. Also, to even say something about being called conflict ready, I am literally saying, let's prepare for conflict. That's not what I want to put out into the world. And I don't even want that going through my body. I don't want that going through my technology, my computer. I got to get rid of all of that. Intensive. I don't want to be in the intensive all the time. I don't even want that name in what I do. It's changing. Everything in me right now wants to go to my conflict ready intensive page, delete it, and start all over. But that's what I would normally do. I'm one of those people where I just throw stuff out. It's a new day. It's a new me. Let's throw this out and throw this out and throw. Let's slow down. Let's slow down. And let me do things in a way that unfolds in more of a flow and not these abrupt. So that's part of like where I'm going. Like I'm watching what I'm saying, how I'm talking about things. The next thing, kind of piggybacking off of that, is the idea of moving from this concept of being an entrepreneur to a spiritpreneur. A spiritpreneur is all about everyone benefits. Entrepreneurship is I give you something that's beneficial and you give me money. There's this assumed kind of transactional process, right? All business have a transaction to it, sure. But when you can move from oh, I'm blessed and you're blessed, that's awesome. That's a different way to advertise something or to market it or talk about it. Spiritpreneurship for me is about whether or not you engage with my business, whether you sign up for this course or whatever it is, you've already benefited. So for me, it's like even my advertising, even the way I talk about something should have an inherent benefit where somebody feels like just the advertisement, they read it and like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. They got something out of it, whether they take my course or not, whether they engage with me or not. Spiritpreneurship is a reciprocal blessing. I'm a blessing, you're a blessing. I'm a blessing, you're a blessing. And that's a little different than a transactional kind of I give you this and you give me money, right? It's the spirit of it rather than the letter of it, I guess, and how you talk about it. I want people to feel connected, not just with themselves, with me, with the work. And so that's kind of piggybacking part of it is what you name it, right? It's how you talk about it. It's how you engage. So I really do just want to just delete my whole web. I didn't start all over, and I know that's the thing that I do. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm figuring that out. Everything in me wants to get busy and start like, no, it's a new me. It's a new me. It's a new me. And part of the new me is to slow down. So I'm figuring that part out. I just got to stop to breathe, y'all. Stop to breathe. It has to be different this time. It has to be different this time. And that's my commitment. The last thing that is here for me is somebody asked me the other day or said to me, we need we need more communication or better communication. Like that's what it is. Just more and better communication. And I'm like, better communication is always great. But even that's subjective. Like better communication for this person could be different for that person, right? I believe before we talk about communication, talking about anything, what we need to do and what is missing is normalizing honesty. We don't normalize honesty. When you are honest, you're it's it's mislabeled. Oh, they're direct, or they're a New Yorker, or there's something, or they're aggressive, or they're rude, right? When you normalize honesty, I want to give a huge shout out to my Aunt Robin. I would say she is, I don't know if it's the only, but the only one that comes to mind is someone who, when I say normalizes honesty, she doesn't stop to think, how's this going to feel in your body when I say it, right? Her love language is truth. That's her love language. And so if you have people in your family that just, they think it and just flies out of their mouth, and they are, well, you know how Robin is. Well, you know how she's just going to say what, we have reactions to it because we don't normalize honesty. I have said to myself over the years of my life with my aunt, man, why did she just blurt stuff? Like, why did she just do that? There could have been a nicer way. Then you evolve a little bit. Then it turns into, how do you do that? Right? How do you say the thing and move on with life and you're free? Right now, every now and then she'll say something and she'll correct it if she feels convicted, like, okay, I didn't have to say it that way, right? But here's what I can tell you, I have never, ever, not once, not never thought or never said. Is she telling me the truth? I have never questioned her honesty. I have never questioned her integrity. I have never questioned her love for me. And sometimes, it comes, it flies. She is aggressively loving. It comes out. It comes out. Even when it's the sweetest thing you've ever said, right? She said to my sister one time, my sister just a world traveler and just does stuff and whatever. And my aunt was like, look, you're hogging up all the angels. Now, I only got I got a handful of angels, and all this stuff you doing, this traveling, this, you forgetting this and losing key, like all of that, you're taking up all the angels. You need to slow down. You sucking up all the angels, right? What she's saying is, I'm looking out for you. I'm concerned. She's saying, I have angels that I am, I'm deploying my angels to love and to protect you on your journey of life. That's what she's saying. And if we're so caught up in things being said a particular way, you're going to miss the power. You're going to miss the integrity and the love in the message, because it's not said in a way that's nice, or in a way that we as society have conditioned ourselves to say the thing but think another. And then there's people who say the thing, they think it, they say it, and they're done. If more people did that, I would be out of a job in organizations. Most of the things that I'm doing in organizations are because people aren't honest. They're not. And so we create all these mechanisms to circle the block, to be able to say something around the thing. Oh my God, the time that would be saved if somebody just said, hey, for example, hey, I don't know, there's something about the way that we resonate that doesn't feel comfortable with me. I don't want to be in relationship with you. Can you imagine if people just said that? I don't want to be in relationship with you, not in a relationship. That could be a coworker. Like, I just choose not to be in that kind of relationship with you. I don't have to, I don't know what it is. Hey, I don't even know what it is, but I don't feel comfortable being in a relationship with you, or I don't feel like that idea that you said was the best idea. I have another thought. Here it is. Take it or leave it. but here's my thought, and be done. We won't do that. We have people that act out in organizations and nobody's holding accountable. And all those people that aren't holding them accountable are lying. They're lying to themselves, they're lying to that person. They're lying to all the people around them that are watching this person act out, and the leader's not doing anything about it. These are lies. They're not honest. And so when we talk about honesty and self-honesty, it starts with, what do I really want to do? I don't want to traffic in conflict. Okay, I got to change the whole game. When I walk into, so I was telling somebody the other day, when I walk into a space, people they're braced because what I represent is conflict. What I represent is inequity. What I represent, they see me coming in, and that's the furthest from what I want to represent. I want people to see me walk in and go, okay, great. Now we're going to get some work done. We're going to figure out what's going on between me and you. Great. We're going to have a conversation. And it's not going to be an intensive. It's not going to be intense. It's going to be a conversation. So the new thing that I'm creating, instead of intense or intensive, instead of conflict ready intensive, what I'm kind of leaning to is more about the leader's table. Pull up, tell the truth. We'll take it from there. That's my tagline. The leader's table. Pull up a chair, tell the truth, and we'll take it from there. There will be things that you learn. There will be things, but do I want people to say, I learned a lot? Do I want people to say, oh, I needed that. I didn't even know I needed it, but I needed that. Yeah. Do I want them to say, oh, I'm so inspired? What do I want people to walk away with? It is not tools. I don't want people just to walk away from my whatever soon to be named thing and say, oh, I got some good tools. You don't use the tools if you're not being honest about them. You know how many sessions I've done on feedback? And people are like, but give us the tool. I can't sit there like a puppet and do this with your mouth. I can't do that part. You have to do that. But if we're not addressing what's underneath the dishonesty, if we're not addressing the dishonesty, if we're not addressing that, and I just tell you, here's the language to use, you're going to be scared to do it. And then you're just going to, so when people say, give me tools, I get really sketch about that. I get really sus. I get sus about people saying tools, 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 because it takes courage. I don't know how to teach you courage. Even when I give you language, I give you courageous language, courageous frameworks. But in that moment, when all your hardwiring pops up and you're afraid and you can't get it out of your mouth, that's the part I can't do. And that's the part people want to be able to do. So there's going to be so much more as I'm learning. So as you can see, everything's kind of coming together. This is the Majors Leadership Show now. And I talk a little bit more about what I do in Rojo. Rojo is really about these human things to make us, one, feel more rested and feel more powerful in our truth, in our honesty. I believe once you conquer the fear of being honest, there are no other problems. This marriage, I promise you, would have been 8 months and not 8 years. This relationship, it would have been 8 months, maybe 8 weeks, but I'll just be nice or kind and say it would have been 8 months if I were being honest. It would not have been 8 years. If I was being honest with myself, honest with him. Jobs that you're staying at, if you're being honest, you know that job is making your hair fall out, that you're miserable, that you're not happy, that you go in and you've turned off, you walk into this place, you turn off all of those places that make you feel in your body, all your sensory stuff, you turn all that off because you know that if you even take a minute to feel what you're feeling in that place, it's going to be a problem. You won't make it. You won't make it. So many of the things that we do. If you're being honest about your health or your weight and you look at what you eat, you know what you're supposed to do, and you're being honest, then you will either say, I know I'm killing myself. I've made that decision. Hey, a lot of people say that. Look, you're going to die sometimes. I'm going to die with a cigarette in my hand. And I'm okay with that. That's more free than going to the gym and making all these declarations and making vision boards and doing all these things. And deep down, you have not decided to do what you need to do. Honesty. So all the things. And that is why, here comes the full circle. I actually managed to do it this time. That is why I'm starting over in the way that I do things with an honest seed that I'm planting from here forth. I can't get frantic. I can't get busy. I can't do everything I've been doing before because the way they did it didn't yield what I want. And that's honest. That's the honest truth. So if I'm being honest, it has to start with the seed that I'm planting with this business and what I got going next. And that's it, y'all. Let's be honest. Let's do things a little different. Let's slow down, not hop from this battlefield to that battlefield. Slow down, heal, think about what you're doing, plant a new seed. Because this next seed, I'm going to have an orchard of fruit. I'm going to have no more hustle and grinding. I'm going to have sauntering fruit. I'm going to have moseying fruit tree, abundant fruit tree. I'm going to pick some abundance. I'm going to pick some peace. I'm going to have all kinds of my orchard now. Every tree in that orchard is going to be something that I can just pick from and enjoy life from here on out. Just watch it, get on board with it, get your tree going, get your fruit, do whatever you got to do. But it's time to think and act from that place of deliberate intention and honesty. Take care, y'all.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you have, please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things you know to do on the socials, and we'll see you next time.